Good morning. Perfect. Well, hi. Cheyenne, hi here this morning for your Calm Warrior yoga class. This class is usually taught by Anthony McMorrin every Saturday morning at the Eau Claire YMCA. And this is the class I've been taking since I started yoga, actually. So it's been a really foundational part of my practice, of my life. This class really means a lot to me. And if any of you watching today are from the YMCA too, shout out to you. I miss you so much. And whoever else is out there right now, thanks for taking this time for yourself and for connecting with me as well. So for our hour-long practice today, we'll find ourselves beginning in seated, in Sukhasana. And this is a really perfect place to begin to realize, to recognize that yoga doesn't look the same for all of us. And it's not meant to either. It's meant to be what it is for you, what it is that you need to connect with. It's a practice to turn inward or to visit things that might need your attention. And all of us have a different focus. We all have different thoughts, different processes. And this is one really beautiful way that together we can arrive there by our own means. So maybe if you haven't yet already, and if it's comfortable for you, let those eyes gently close. Or maybe just find a soft space down at the floor to gaze at. From here, we can take this time to feel centered, to draw inward in the ways that allow us to arrive there. For many of us, the body is the first sense we connect with when it comes to centering, to being present. So in your physical body today, if that's calling for you, you choose one place to visit. Maybe that's in the weight under the sit bone. Any remaining wiggles in your toe. For some of us, this connection, this practice of turning in happens in the breath. Inhaling and exhaling. Noticing. Whatever you choose to focus on today, it belongs to you. Sensations in your physical body, the rhythm of your breath, maybe an intention for joy, peace, calm, community. Maybe you find something constant here, something to return to steady your practice. Bring your body, your mind, and yourself right here, right now. We'll all start to bring that attention to the breath. Option to place one hand on the heart, one on the belly if you'd like. Becoming acquainted with your breath. And then remembering that what it does is in your control. The inhales that drop down to the belly. The inhales that fill up the chest, those are yours. The exhales that slide down the spine, that draw the belly and the chest closer into your heart, closer into yourself. Those breaths are yours too. Maybe today you'll find a steady, constant, strong grasp on what is yours. Start by adding some gentle movements into our practice, dropping both hands down to the knees. We'll gently let the chin fall down towards the chest. And noticing that the longer you pull the spine towards the sky, lengthen and straighten the spine, the more you'll start to find an opening in the back, which in turn opens our breath, our possibilities, our opportunities. You're ready to move on. Let your next exhale drop the right ear over to the right shoulder. Maybe lingering right here. We're starting to add some gentle movements, exploring this side of the neck. Pausing where you see fit. The shoulders are heavy. Spine long and tall. Inhale. Exhale, make your way to the other side. Chin drops down to the chest. Left ear to left shoulder. Your version of this posture, your opening where you need it. Maybe moving through some new spaces or just staying right where you are. Follow your breath. Come back to your breath. Your intentions, your steadiness. Before circling back down with the chin to the chest. Inhale, return to neutral, sit tall. Exhale to feel the body sink into the mat. Inhale, arms reach up, look up maybe. Exhale, hands down to the heart. 2 more of these, waking up our shoulders. Inhale up. Exhale, hands down to the heart. And last round, when you're ready, breath in, energy through every fingertip. Exhale, hands down to the heart. From here, we'll drop those hands down to the knees one more time. Sitting tall. Taking a breath. Returning to your study. Welcome to your practice. We'll find ourselves down on the mat, tabletop. That's on all fours. So the wrists are going to tuck safely under the shoulders. The knees fall under the hips. Option here to let those feet be flat with the toes released. Or some people like to make this more active and tuck the toes underneath. From here, we're going to start to move through those cat-cows, those beautiful ways to open your spine. As you breathe in, we drop the belly to the ground. The gaze shifts up to the sky. The tailbone reaches up. The exhales are round in the back. Moving like a cat here, maybe even tucking the chin a little bit. Tailbone drops. Inhale to look up, drop the belly. Exhale to round the back. Inhale, gaze up. Exhale, round. And a few more of these breaths for yourself here. During our cat-cow, maybe this is the time that we start to connect breath with the body. Maybe for you, you start to add some different movement. Maybe for you, you're more interested in that time, that transition between the inhale and exhale. What happens right there in the pause? When you're ready, all the way back to neutral. We're going to start to wake up into the belly, start to bring some fire to our core. Your next breath in, take that right arm and reach it long in front of you, the fingertips extending. Option to exhale the left foot back straight behind as if you're standing on the wall. Your next breath in, let it lift you off the ground. Beautiful. And exhale to stay. Inhale to feel. Exhale to be here. And all the way back down to your mat. We'll move through this on the same, with the same idea, but on the other side. Breath in, left arm long. Reach through those fingertips. Exhale, option to kick back with the right foot, mindfully arriving there. One thing my body often does is takes that back foot and it reaches it up too high. So maybe check in with yourself and see if your straight line might look a little different than you expect. Breathe here. Be here. We're dropping down to return to the mat. We're going to sit back onto those heels. For some of us, instead, this might be up on our knee. We'll take some care of our wrists here. So wherever you find yourself, give yourself a few circles. Actually, let's take a lot of circles here. Find your breath. Find your movement. Maybe extending those circles all the way up to the sky. And switching directions, make your way back down. Tabletop. Here we are again. Wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. From here, we're going to be moving through the same kind of bird dog posture, but maybe adding a little bit more. Inhale that right arm long again, an extension of your shoulder. Exhale, option to bring the left foot back. Inhale to reach long. Maybe you stay here. Or if you'd like, exhale to bend that back knee. Maybe reach for those back toes. If this is as far as you get, that's a beautiful place to be. If you'd like to try a little more, if your foot does come into that hand, kick away. If you're still in your bird dog, if you have one arm off the ground, know that you are perfect. Like really, right where you are. Releasing. Just as sweetly as we arrive down to the mat. What a way to wake up. We'll inhale the left arm long, reaching strong. Exhale, maybe that right foot comes back. We all push away from the mat to find that center, to find that strength. And then optionally bending at the back knee. Maybe reaching. Or maybe kicking. And if you're here, notice if that knee starts to splay out to the side and draw it back in. Take care of yourself. Just as your body takes care of you, right here. And release. Mindfully, sweetly, down to the ground. Child's pose. Hips back towards the heels, never needing to arrive if they don't. Hands reach for the mat, crawling to the top. Dropping that forehead. If it reaches the mat, go ahead and let it do so. We'll be resting here for a few moments. So staying in your child's pose or any resting pose for you. And where you are, may you find your breath. In whatever place of rest, know that this is equally as important as the asana practice, the postures that we do. Because this is where you find your breath. This is where the inhales fill up the body. And the exhales invite you to let go. How sweet, how strong our breath can be. And the best part about this is the breath is a part of you. So if you can feel that way about your breath, you can feel that way about you too. We'll all meet back in our tabletop, arriving there at our own pace, with our own grace. We're going to prepare for our first downward facing dog, safely placing those hands one print closer to the top of your mat. Tuck your toes. Send those hips up and back, welcoming a bend in the knees. Any amount if you would like that here. Downward facing dog, we breathe. Maybe we stretch into one foot and then the other by bending alternate knees. The feet can even start to wake up here. Find a little bit of movement. Or if you're ready for that steady, be right there. Inhale into the belly, big breath. Exhale, draw the belly in. Inhale, tiptoe or step to the top of the mat. Exhale to forward fold. Again, welcoming a bend in the knees if you'd like. There's no rush. There can be an end game, but right now let's be in this moment instead. Maybe you grab onto opposite elbows. Maybe you sway side to side. See if upon that invitation of that exhale, if you can let something else go. A thought, a place in your body, a feeling. Dropping the hand. As you're ready for your next inhale, halfway lift, reaching through a long spine. Shoulders open and pull back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach and rise. The arms come all the way up to the sky. Exhale, hands down to the heart. Tadasana, our mountain pose. Dig those toes into the ground. Balance the weight so your whole body helps you here. Breathe into the belly, into the chest. Open yourself fully to this day, this moment. Exhale. All right. Inhale, arms reach. Sun salutations. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Strength and length through the back. Exhale, forward fold. Plant the hands. Step all the way back to plank or kneeling plank with the knees on the ground. Inhale to push away from the mat. Exhale, chaturanga all the way to the ground. Inhale up for maybe just a baby cobra. The chest lifts, the heart opens. Exhale, return down to the mat. Tuck the toes, hips up and back to downward facing dog. Maybe you use the knees to help you there. Pedal out the feet or find your stillness. Making your way to the front of the mat, maybe a few steps or a big one. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach and rise. The arms come up. Exhale, forward. Hands to the heart. Transition breath, breathe in. Exhale. Inhale, reach and rise. I sometimes add a tiny back bend here. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, length. Exhale, forward fold. Plant the hands, step all the way back to plank or kneeling plank. Inhale here at the top. Exhale, lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or maybe upward facing dog for flexibility rather than more of that strength. Exhale, release all the way down to the mat. Inhale up, downward facing dog. Use those knees if you'd like. Hips up and back. And make your way all the way to the front of the mat, forward fold. Exhale if you need. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach and rise. Maybe add that tiny, tiny back bend. Exhale, hands down to the heart. Oh, welcome your transition breath. Take your biggest breath in. Let it rejuvenate you. Let it start you fresh. The exhale, rooting down through the feet. Next breath in, we reach, the arms come up to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Plant the hands. Step all the way back to your plank or kneeling plank. Inhale at the top. Exhale, lower down. Inhale up, cobra, or maybe up dog, knees off the ground. Exhale, down to the mat. Inhale, downward facing dog. Exhale, child's pose. Maybe taking the knees wider this time. And send the hips back. Rest. Relax, recover. Find your intentions. Find your body, find your breath, whatever you need, it is here. Because it's within you. Those knees are wide. Draw yourself forward to bring them back in. From here, we'll all make our way back to downward facing dog. And for just a moment here, notice if anything has changed. Maybe that bend in the knees that used to be down here is now here. Maybe those heels that were reaching for the floor, maybe they touch, maybe they never do. Or maybe you just notice your breath. The heat in the body. Where we are right now. We'll start to walk those feet to the middle of the mat. Let yourself fall for a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And in your halfway lift, we'll remain here for just a moment. And we'll take one hand and place it on the belly. So sometimes when we're here in our halfway lift, we kind of dip into that low back and kind of just let it be really easy and relaxed. But instead, I encourage you to draw that belly upward. Oh, cute. You might be able to see those little ears flashing in and out at the bottom of the screen. That's my cat taking his morning bath. So here we are, and I'm going to leave you here for just another breath or two. If you'd like to feel that even more, maybe the arms extend long in front. A safe tip here is to add that micro bend to the knees. Beautiful, breathe here. Exhale, fold. Nicely done. Inhale to reach and rise, arms come up. Exhale, sink back to chair pose. So the hips come back. Nice, we keep that sweet little bend in the low back, that natural place. Maybe those arms even reach up higher. Whew. That's the cue I don't love. An option here, if you'd like, to come up onto those toes. Lots of heat today in the body. Good morning. Great day to come. And dropping those knees will all forward fold. Maybe you swing here, side to side. Maybe you rest. Maybe you feel something else that releases. And when you're done with whatever it is that your body asked you for, we'll all add a bend to the knees. Maybe that chest even comes down to the thighs. If it doesn't, no worries. A bend in the knees. We'll reach the arms back, keeping a strong pose right here. The fingertips extending. Or option to open those shoulders even more, interlace the fingers behind you and reach up. Maybe keeping those palms together if your shoulders allow for it. Breathe. Keep the chest open, keep the chest high. Here's your breath. Let it oxygenate, open, and enlighten your pose. Breathe here. One more breath in. Forward fold. Beautifully done. Plant the hand all the way back to downward facing dog, reaching up. Drop to the knees. Child's pose. Hips sink down and back. If your shoulders would like an extra rest, you can play with drawing those fingertips back down towards the toes. Either way, anyway, we rest. We breathe. Coming back to the place that is right here. And choosing the perspective we see it from. Hands reach for the top of the mat. The toes tuck. Maybe sending those shoulders over the wrists before coming up and back to downward facing dog. Few steps to the front of the mat. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Bring in your belly. Exhale, fold. Inhale to reach and rise. Exhale, hands down to the heart. Transition here for yourself in this breath to arrive fully where you can. Maybe you gently press those thumbs into the sternum, the breastbone, where you find your heartbeat. Isn't it lovely? Your own personal rhythm, your own personal flow, which we also find here. Next, we'll come into some balance postures. Maybe finding balance before our days even begin. Maybe you're an early person and you've already been up for a while. This is the beginning of my day. So from here, we're going to come into our tree pose. We're going to start by planting all of our weight into that left foot. I'm going to bend into the right knee and notice right away if that hip is sticking out, that sassy hip, draw it in. So you're tall, so you're strong through the heels, through the balls of the feet, all the way up the side. That same engagement we found in our belly and our halfway lift, we find right here. Some of us keep the hands out to the sides with fingers spread wide. Another place of balance can be right at the heart. And as you're ready, maybe those right toes start to lift off the ground. Maybe that knee turns outward. The foot can come along the ankle, the shin, the inner thigh, anywhere that you find balance. And if this feels wobbly and if this feels shaky, that means you're growing. That means that you're strengthening yourself. That means that you're doing something that's hard and you're doing it anyways. And I love you for that. And I hope you love yourself for that too. Some of us might even want something else. Maybe those hands are already reaching up, the branches extended. For those of us who just love this tree pose and like to play with your drishti, your focus point, the right hand can fall down to that knee. The gaze can shift up to the left hand. There's all kinds of options here, but if you're right down here and your feet barely leave the ground, this is your balance. That's all you need. Wherever you are, coming out just as mindfully as we came in. Back down to the ground. Inviting that transition breath in, the big belly breath, the open chest. The exhale long, subtle, but steady. And the same love to the other side. Hands can either be at the heart or down alongside you. We'll ground into that right foot. Maybe come up onto the left toes. Checking in with that right hip. If it's out to the side, draw it in, draw it up. Your center, your breath is your strength. From here, option to lift toes off the ground. Maybe you draw the knee out to the side and that foot comes to an ankle or a shin or even a thigh. If you'd like, you can use your hand to assist the foot. And this is where we play. This is where things get unique. We could stay right here and feel as if we're in a windstorm with the shaking and the wobbling. Some of us, those branches that are in our own trees, that come from our own roots, are big and they reach tall. And for some of us, we look for something else here. The left hand drops to the leg. The gaze up to the right hand. Your balance wherever you are. Grateful and gracious for any amount of growth. And coming down slowly. Noticing every place you pass through as you return back down to your mat. Beautifully done. We'll inhale to take those hands all the way up to the sky. We'll exhale to forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. exhale, forward fold. We'll plant the hands and we'll sit back onto our bottoms, finding the ground beneath us. Arriving there however you would like. We're going to work through our Navasana, our boat pose, to get down to the floor. If that's not in your practice, then just arrive down on your mat with your back flat and the knees bent however you like. For some of us, we might find ourselves here. The back is long. Up onto those sit bones. Notice how easy it is to let the belly sink, and then we sink into that sacral area, the low back almost. Instead, come up onto those sit bones. Nice. Remember this place for what's next to come. The hands can be at the heart. The hands can be long in front. Maybe you're just on your back rolling around right now. That's fine too. But if you'd like to start to lift the toes off the ground, notice those sit bones. Notice how easy it is to sit back into that low back area. Instead, stay up. Use your core. Maybe you extend the legs. This is where I always lose it. Those two little bones. Actually, they're quite big and strong. Either way, we're all coming down to the mat in our own time with our own breath. Inviting a full body stretch. The hands reach above, the toes point long. Inhales, exhales, your intentions, your steady place. Hands come back down. We'll all bend the knees, draw them into the chest. Give yourself a moment here, maybe rocking around side to side, forward, back. Massaging out the IT band. I wish you could hear the song that I was listening to right now, because it's so perfect for this part of the practice where we start to slow back down. It's Boney Bear, by the way. Thank you, Justin Vernon, for the music. Thank you, Anthony McMorrin and the YMCA for this class, and thank you to all of you for being here. We'll drop the feet down to the ground, the knees are bent. And from here, we still feel that low back connected. But instead we start to let our strength melt into the mat, our physical strength at least. Start to be a bit more easy, a bit softer on the self. And we'll move into our figure 4 here, reclined pigeon. So we'll take the right ankle, place it on to the left thigh. For some of us, we stay right here. Otherwise, option to draw the legs into the body. Maybe you interlace the fingers behind the left thigh. And pull yourself into a ball or any amount that your body allows, that you need. Notice if the shoulders tense up here, let the shoulders be heavy. Tension in the jaw. Maybe the eyebrows can melt away. What else can fall into the mat here? What else no longer serves you? Because so often what we need is clouded by these other flighting thoughts, these distractions. But yoga helps us be here and see through that. It helps us sort out what is priority, what is needed. And sometimes it helps us find ease. We drop the feet down to the ground. Both knees pointed up to the sky. And changing sides, the left ankle onto the right thigh. When you're ready, drawing inward. And before interlacing the fingers behind the thigh, remember how it feels to have your shoulders melting into the ground here. So even as you bring those fingers behind the thigh, you can still let those shoulders drip into the mat. Breathing. Welcoming any thoughts or sensations as they come into the mind. And just as sweetly, walking them back out. And dropping both feet all the way down to the mat. We'll add in a bridge pose here to reset. The hands come alongside the hips. They place the fingers down into the mat. We grip the mat. We push the toes into the floor and we lift from the hips as we breathe in. Maybe even just slightly to start. And then I invite you to make some slight adjustments in the feet, in the hands, the backs of the arms. Enough to where this posture can feel strong to you and feel safe in your body. And then lowering ever so gently back down to the mat. A few options here for today. Maybe you play with this bridge pose a few more times, lifting the hips and setting them back down. Option here, if you'd like, to just come back into one of those beautiful low back relief massaging places with the knees tucked in, maybe rocking side to side. Or for many of us, we find a happy baby or legs up the wall. It's a really nice way to end our practice. If you're next to a wall, feel free to put your legs up them, but legs up the wall can just mean this too. And if there's anything I didn't suggest here, add those things in there too. Circles in the ankle or the wrist. Maybe adding some variations into your leg poses, some butterfly legs to open the hips, inner thighs. This part of the practice can be intimidating to some as you wonder, like, what do I do here? What is this yoga thing when somebody isn't telling me what to do? Well, it's still yoga. And usually if we listen, something happens, something comes, suggestion, your intuition. When you're done doing all of the things, any of the things, we'll start to arrive back down to our mat for our final resting pose, our Shavasana. In our Shavasana, the end of our practice looks exactly the same way as the beginning in the sense that it belongs to us in the way that's right for us. So if your knees remain bent with your feet planted on the ground, that can be your Shavasana. That is your Shavasana. If your feet fall out to the outer edges of the mat with long legs, that's Shavasana too. Traditionally, the hands come alongside the body with the palms faced up. And walk them out just far enough away to feel the shoulders open and fall down to the ground. And for the next few minutes, I'll be here with you in your Shavasana. At the end of our final resting pose, I'll cue you with the sound of my voice. And if you're ready to close your practice then, that's perfect. I invite you to take your Shavasana at your own pace, just like the rest of our practice. If you need to linger here longer, if you need to feel your breath, ease your mind, stay here as long as you'd like. For the next few moments, the next few minutes, we arrive here with any ease we can invite into our body, our breath, and our mind. There are no rules here. There's no judgment. There's no expectations. It's just you, everything you've created, and your breath. These next few minutes are for you. ever so gently. Inviting some small movement back into the body. Perhaps flickers in the fingertips, the toes, rocking the head from side to side, or inviting big belly breath back in the body. And as you're ready, turning onto one side or the other, drawing those knees in towards the body and resting the head on the arm as a pillow. For a few more breaths. Time to welcome change. Welcome transition. To be here through it all. Making your way back to seated. Maybe letting the eyes be gently closed if that's comfortable for you. And we find ourselves here yet again. Our Sukhasana. Yet maybe here we are changed. We are strong. Take this with you. From beginning to end, through every moment, through every day, for it is yours. All you need belongs to you. The next breath in, the arms reach up, maybe look up. Exhale, hands down to the heart. Bowing forward to your own light, your own greatness. Namaste. What an amazing way to begin the day. I hope this presence, this feeling, this whatever this is available to you whenever you need it. I love you. Thank you for being here. Enjoy your weekend.